So Screenrant has done a little bit in the second half of the article from my previous video where it says they're talking about Screenrant went on to talk about in that same article mentioning that they changed a big story from The Last of Us. Screenrant wanted to talk about how it could hurt The Last of Us and how it helps. The zombie-causing fungus in the original The Last of Us game is inspired by the real cordyceps fungi. Within the game, the infection is caused by a mutation that affects the brain. So, they're talking about they're kind of focusing more on one little area of the game because I played the games and you do wear a gas mask, but you don't wear it a lot. You don't wear it every time. You only wear it in areas where it's really dense. But they do have a moment right here that I'm going to highlight that they're talking about. While controlling Joel, players would need to don a mask to protect themselves from spore-dense areas. The removal of spores and the external threat of an airborne fungal infection may lessen the danger of the cordyceps virus in the Last of Us television series, where Joel would need to be aware of the surroundings to avoid accidental exposure. The series eliminates that source of tension and suspense. This significant change leads to the removal of a crucial scene from the game where Joel and Ellie dart into a spore-filled subway station. Prior to this moment, Joel relatively disregarded her bite and primarily saw her as an anomalous piece of cargo. When he witnessed Ellie breathe in the spores with his eyes protected by a thick gas mask, his attitude towards her softened and he began to understand her overall significance to the world. So they're highlighting that part of the game as an example as to how removing this spore-dense areas would remove some tension and suspense. But I don't think that's going to change much because I feel like they could just up the tension and suspense in other ways with more like those creepy clickers that are going to be coming around are going to be way more scary anyways. And I guess they also just didn't want, this didn't make sense to have the Joel wearing a mask or Pedro Pascal wearing a gas mask the whole show. I'm sure he's sick of wearing a mask from being on The Mandalorian, so it's a change that makes sense. So maybe it's not even. I guess in the show it's still cordyceps. I don't think they've said they've changed that, but I guess it's less of a spore fungal infection or an airborne thing, and it's more of like can get bitten and you get it. So maybe Joe will see in a different way that Ellie is immune to this thing. But I feel like there is a couple of things that are being spoiled a lot. So a lot of these things, like with the show coming out in a week, a lot of this stuff is coming up now, purposely to like help promote the show. But a lot of stuff is being dropped. Like story-wise, I'm surprised. Like I was surprised in the trailer that they showed straight up that Ellie's immune. So people watching the show already who don't know the game already know a pretty big story thing. So I was surprised that they revealed that. But what do you guys think? Do you think this story change matters? Is that a thing that you even care about? Uh, I don't know. I mean, there's so many new things coming up almost every day now about this show because it's coming out soon. And maybe it's too much. Maybe we don't need to know so much about the show. Because, there used to be a time when a show would come out and you knew nothing about it. You would just watch it. What do you think, guys? What do you think, guys? Let me know.